Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirectTV.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
On impeachment at 4 o'clock Wednesday. All Republicans will vote not guilty. I think we'll pick up a handful of Democrats. And the day of reckoning is coming for congressional and Senate oversight of Joe Biden and the FISA warrant process.
Joe Biden?
What's remarkable is you now have Republican senators coming out and saying, yes, the House proved its case. The House proved the corrupt scheme. I also think it's important that the Senate take the next step. Having found him guilty, if indeed that's what they have found, they need to remove him from office because he is threatening to still cheat in the next election.
I think that he knows now that if he is trying to do certain things, whether it's ferreting out corruption there, in Afghanistan, whatever it is, he needs to go through the proper channels. Yes, I will vote to acquit because, again, whether you like what the president has done or not, you know, we can argue this up one side and down the other all day.
No, we can't, Joni.
Does it come to the point of removing a president from office?
Yes, it does.
I don't believe this does.
SNL's mockery of the trial almost seemed like it was a process that had more integrity than the actual trial, having no witnesses at all. Why would a president who is innocent go to these lengths to suppress evidence? Of course, we know why. Yeah. And we know what's going on the floor of the Senate. As upsetting as what's going on in the Senate is, the thing that I'm always reminding voters of, especially in these closing days of the Iowa caucuses, is that, yeah, the Senate is the jury today, but we are the jury tomorrow.
It will be up to the senators to make that final judgment, and the senators will be held accountable for it.
The information about the Bidens is out there.
The Bidens.
And so now it is up to the American people to decide, you know, was that a good choice for Hunter Biden to be on that board, especially at a time when his father was trying to ferret out corruption in Ukraine.
But we're going to get to the bottom of this, and I can prove beyond any doubt that Joe Biden's effort in the Ukraine to root out corruption was undercut because he let his son sit on the board of the most corrupt company in the Ukraine, and we're not going to give him a pass on that.
Welcome to the Hillary email campaign. Welcome. The Republicans want to try Hunter Biden when the indicted is Donald Trump. The person who was indicted by the House of Representatives is Donald John Trump. It is not Hunter Biden. Now, if you wanted to investigate Hunter Biden or Joe Biden, can I just remind you that the Republicans had the House in 2015? If they think that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States, had done something wrong, does anybody believe that after they got done with Benghazi, that Trey Gowdy and Devin Nunes would have then taken up Joe Biden as a subject? No, nobody doubts that, right? Because there is no there. But you know what this is? This is like the anthrax killer. Remember the anthrax killer? It was, some guy was sending anthrax to various, media personalities. We got anthrax. Well, we didn't get anthrax. We got fake anthrax. But, everybody was having other people open their mail for them. It was like really special. I mean, we had the FBI up at Air America. I can't tell you how many times. I cannot tell you. Make a long story short, when they couldn't solve the mystery, a guy at Fort Detrick, Maryland, died. So the Bush administration pointed to the dead body and said he did it. So this is that. This is, the Senate is supposed to be trying Donald J. Trump with witnesses, documents, and all admissible evidence. And instead they're pointing at Joe Biden and saying, but we want to investigate that. But it didn't. They had every opportunity to investigate Joe Biden. He was the Vice President of the United States. They had a complete, a lock on the House. They had a complete lock on the Senate. Why didn't they do it then? Why? Because there's no there. That's why. And now they're using that as some sort of a shield to investigate Donald J. Trump, who did do it. And they all agree he did it. And what did he do? He asked a foreign government to investigate a U.S. person without any probe in the United States being conducted. You got the Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr. He'd be more than happy to. But there's nothing there. So he hasn't opened up any investigation into the Bidens. He hasn't opened up, and the Republican House never opened up an investigation into the Bidens in 2014 and 2015 and 2016 and 2017. They had the House. They had the Senate. They only lost the House in 2018. They still have the Senate. You're telling me somehow they missed this great opportunity to investigate the sitting vice president of the United States when he was sitting vice president? I mean, give me a freaking break on this. And now they have a trial for Donald J. Trump, and they call no witnesses and admit no documents. You know what I want to do? And it'll never happen. I want to impeach him again. I do. Now, Bolton's book, here's how you'll know if Donald Trump obviously invaded Czechoslovakia. And Donald Trump is invading Poland now, and on Wednesday you'll find out that he's invading Poland, and it's fine. Now Donald Trump is going to, invade France and maybe even the Soviet Union. Smart people know what I'm talking about. And we're going to see whether or not John Bolton's book actually is released. I'm not going to read it, but, the excerpts will be good. But I will not buy that book because what a douche. Here we have a president who is literally on the eve of getting away with invading Czechoslovakia and Poland, poised to invade France and the Soviet Union, and you got a Congress that doesn't want to know anything about it. And John Bolton's testimony would convince them because he's one of them and could stop the invasion. And he won't do it. He won't do it because he sees his book is like trending. It's already #1 on Amazon, and it won't be released until March, if it's released at all. Now you've got the National Security Council, Donald Trump's National Security Council, vetting that book. And here's a factoid you need to know. Bolton has written 6 books already. He was our UN ambassador. He's also been in the White House before. None of his books ever contained any classified material, and this book doesn't either. So if they say that over at NSC, if they say that John Bolton's book has classified information, which we could all be rest assured it doesn't, because he knows what it is to write a book that would pass muster, okay? He's that experienced in government and in national security matters. So he would never, ever, ever even try. But if his book is not released because the NSC says it can't be released, either he's in on this, Bolton, although I can't see that because he's a money grubber, or we now have a Ministry of Propaganda. We now have book censorship in America. So don't rely. Now remember, the First Amendment only protects your free speech from government intrusion. That's what the First Amendment is about. Doesn't mean a private company can't ban you or kick you off their platform or fire you if you work for a company, and they don't like the way you speak or whatever. No, this is First Amendment guarantees you against government intrusion. Now, if Bolton's book is intruded upon, the publication of that book is intruded upon by the government, kiss free speech goodbye.